I like when people hit subspace. I like to watch them float off to nirvana. That's my thing. I like to watch as they descend and then pull them out of it and then let them descend again. Men and women both, they get this certain face, and then their body starts moving in a certain way, and you can just tell when you've struck that chord most of the time. I will tell you the worst thing is when there's like deadpan. You're like, do you like
don't
this?
know what's
And they're like, I'll be back tomorrow at the end of the session, and you're like, oh, thank God. I thought you might be dying for a minute. I didn't know. You never changed your expression.
They're just unreactive.
Yeah.
So then what about you in Subspace?
And to go a little bit more detail, what exactly is Subspace? I mean, I got an idea of it, but...
I mean, for me, it's just like... I guess it would be... Oh, man, that's tough.
How would you define it?
Yeah, that's...
So subspace is basically where the headspace, it's almost like being hypnotized is, I guess, a good way. People tend to get very quiet. They can take, especially when it's pain associated, you'd be like, all of a sudden, they could take they could be tortured for days. And they're just fantastic to a point where I have to cut it off at a certain point. Or, it's just a different state of mind. It's almost like a drug effect. If you looked at somebody when they came in versus when they were in subspace, some people would think they were under the influence. Because they literally their eyelids get droopy and they turn to jello. And it's like, yes.
It's kind of how I was last night, so...
Yeah.
I knew that's why you were laughing.
He's like some of them giggle, too. He giggles.
Where I parked, because I forgot.
Oh, I had to walk him to his car. It was so funny.
So is that caused by like an overload of pain then? It's like a sensory overload, or does it not necessarily have to be pain induced?
It doesn't have to be pain induced, but it is generally, when it's pain associated, related to the endorphin release.
It's enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
What I think. Like, you finally get to really, enjoy what you have been either dreaming or, been wanting to do. And, like, I know for some it may not happen all the time, but it's like when it does happen, it's just like, not like an atomic bomb can go off and you'd still be smiling because, you're in the moment. So it's just like, it's just a great feeling. Like, it's hard to describe because, like, it's like if you've been there, you know what it is. But if you haven't and you get there, like, people are either accept it or they, they kind of run from it. So, like, I mean, before... Like, I really didn't know what it was until I eventually accepted it, and then I grew on it, like, because, like, people, like she said, she's like, people are, like, don't know how you're feeling and don't react. So I was like, okay, so that means I got to open up more and, like, let them know what's going on. Because, like, when I first started, I was super quiet, like, like, whatever I was doing, like, getting spanked or something
During
like that.
During the scene? Okay.
Yeah, like, during, like, certain sessions or whatever, it would be, like, I would have no emotions. And, like, people could never tell if I was enjoying it or not. And I could understand from their point of view, where it'd be like kind of tough to figure out what's going on. And they're like, well, are you enjoying this? And I was like, yeah, it's just like I'm in the moment right now. And she's like, well, express it, And I was like, I guess that makes sense because you can't really, get a good read on people like when you're beating the crap out of them, So it's like you gotta let them know, what's going on and, everything like that. So there's always that communication line, that you don't want to forget about. So, but it's like once you're there, it's a great fucking feeling, at least for me. So I mean, it's definitely, it just like kind of brings everything back down to earth for me. Like kind of takes me back to, that it's a fantasy. So it's just like enjoyable for me. So once I get there, it's wonderful.
Thanks for listening to Bound to Talk. Look for us on YouTube, iTunes, or visit boundtotalk.com.